Well, that might be a problem. Ah.
As it turns out, a little bit of plaster fills many sins. However, despite the dropped piece of plasterboard, it was up there long enough for me to measure out the switchboard, so the next stage was to cut that out. After which point we carried on with a few test bits, taking a little more care to make sure the thing didn't fall down this time. It was a little too high on the left hand side there, so I marked it out with a pencil, cut it down to size, and here I am fitting it back in again. And no points for guessing what time of year this work was done. Since it was around Christmas time and all of the family were going to be home, I decided it'd be a good idea to have a functional TV. Especially for those early mornings when the children like to be noisy. Bluey to the rescue. After the holiday season, it was time to play around with some forbidden cotton candy. We're mostly putting this in the wall to stop the noise from travelling quite so much. I'm a big fan of this rockwool insulation because it means that I can install it without needing to put on gloves, and I'm not going to get itchy at the end of the day. With the lower half of the wall done, I decided to bring in the Minister of Interior to alleviate any potential hypothetical dropped drywall issues.
Just putting it on the ground.
Right next to the other one.
Oh, over here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I finished off the rest of the insulation and then got ready to glue the drywall in for the last time. Hopefully.
Confirm I need to figure out the screw pattern again. Every 300 millimeters.
Now that's a New Zealand standard, so just bear in mind that might be different for your area.
Now, get into place.
Yep.
Basically lift up and slot it around that box, and we're just going to get on that edge.
Yep.
And that'll hold itself and just hold at the bottom. Oh, for goodness sakes. I'm supposed to have a joiner in the back of that. Whoops.
Now normally I'd use some off-cut plywood for this, but I didn't have any in the shed at this point. So instead I used the spare pieces of drywall to fill in the gap instead. Not a good idea to have drywall screws and glue in the same spot, because as the temperature changes, they'll expand and contract at different rates and you'll end up getting popping. So what I'm doing here is just gluing the back and temporarily fastening it with screws. They'll later be removed when I come to actually do the plastering. And for what I hope is the very last time, we put the top piece of jib back into place.
Lovely. Second time's a charm.
I had one more gap to fill on the left hand side there, so I cut off another piece of jib and put that into place as well. And in case you're wondering, jib is what we call drywall over here in New Zealand. This was a hole that I'd cut in order to get some wires through to the light switch a wee while ago, so I'm just remediating it now.
Ah, balls. Come on.
Bit of a messy job playing with drywall glue.
Jeez, it's still blooming hot up here.
As you can see, my measuring skills were a little loose, so I had to fix this piece too.
Great that it's done, but now I've got to plaster. Go one. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Thunder!
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's a lot of rain. Now we figure out exactly how bad my plastering is. Pretty bad. Affect all of that. This sucks.
Since my plastering wasn't coming up anywhere near as well as I'd hoped, I jumped onto YouTube and did a little research. And naturally made it look so easy.
I think I'll get away with these ones with a wee bit of a sand. So I might leave that and just try and do that whole strip and then that whole corner. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hawk, because apparently that's what the professionals use. Okay, so that's going to be taking off. That's for putting on. We'll need this. Getting it out. I've already mixed my plaster, so hopefully it's a lot smoother and all the bubbles are out. But I think this is probably a bit too runny, but That's what I've got. Ah, more. Doesn't look like it did in the video. Oops. Oh, what I wanted. Might have got it. Let's try the other side. That corner piece has had a chance to dry now, so I'm going to move on to this wall and see if I can get that some semblance of straight. We'll see. Trusty hook and scoops of plaster. Certainly got newfound respect for the pros. Hopefully that'll give me a little bit better of a finish than I had last time. That's what we care about. Small improvements. I've not really had any success with the big sander, the big electric sander, so I'm going to try a new pulse sander, see how that goes. Might be a little bit more gentle and possibly take off a little less material. With an audiobook, we're going to go with some lit RPG, super nerdy. Thank you kindly.
I saw that.
Right. The roll of fibres are all pressed in one direction, and so there's actually a noise difference when you roll one way versus when you roll the other. The one that makes the less noise is when you're rolling with the fibres, and it leaves you with a lighter texture and a better surface. I think the block for that one.
Absolute dog's bollocks.
Oh, ballsack. Okay.
Yeah. And this is better. This is really cooked.
Beautiful.
So with the milestone reached, we decided to have a couple of drinks and somebody implied that I couldn't do a handstand.
I painted a wolf!
Yeah, they might have been right.
I think you might have injured yourself.
A bit of carpet there. It'll be fine.